Hi and welcome to my channel, Mazzaline Holistic Life Coach, 5 steps to a healthier mindset. I hope you've been enjoying my previous podcast, one called The Starting Point, looking at and recognizing the sort of things that can cause blockages in our lives, and tips and suggestions of how we can free ourselves to a healthier mindset. Also, podcast called How Certain Colours Can Affect Our Mood and how decluttering our home can also allow positive energy to enter into our lives. Another great podcast was Knowing Your Worth. We covered why sometimes we may feel worthless. What are some of the causes? And we covered tips and suggestions on how we can break that cycle. Great. Today we'll be looking at accepting praise and encouragement and why sometimes we don't want to accept praise or a compliment. We'll also be looking at alternative ways of adjusting our mindset, a holistic approach. Why is it that some people don't feel comfortable when they receive a compliment or an encouragement? Could it be insecurities? Could it be depression? Could it be self-worth? You don't feel worth anything, worthless? That life has also beaten you down so much that you're unable to see when someone compliments you with a nice compliment or a good compliment. Maybe you've lost your way perhaps in life and given up on life. Or it could be self-worth of how you feel about yourself. If we look at some of these things and some of these reasons of why do we feel that we don't accept a compliment. Sometimes in life, we can have so many different experiences, negative experiences in life, where after a time it becomes a pattern of behavior, a pattern of thinking, a pattern of thought, that we can start to believe the negative, the narrative of what people may say about us as a person. This also can then affect the way we deal with life, think of life, or interact with others. Compliments is a good thing. It can inspire us, it can encourage us to do many things in life. Because if you think about it, like if you're going to be doing a race, you get an encouragement at the beginning. They say, you know what, I believe you can do this. I believe you're going to make it. I could believe you're going to win this race. And compliments can help you to achieve your goal. And when we start believing the negative side of that, it can hinder us from progression. It can also affect the mindset, our mental well-being, our worth. It can affect us, how we grow as a person. So to receive a praise is a good thing. But when it becomes a negative thing, when you start believing that I am not worthy to receive that encouragement, it can become damaging to you as a person. You can start to lose yourself in this belief that you are worthless. So when someone does give you a compliment, you shy away from it. You say, no, that's not me. I'm not that person. And all these thoughts build up to become part of your personality, part of your makeup, part of who you've become. Maybe once before you were this amazing person, an outgoing person, an extrovert, and all of a sudden something's happened to you in life that's caused you now to believe that you are not worthy of praise. You are not worthy of a compliment. You are not worthy as a person. We are all worthy. We are all worthy of encouragement. We are all worthy of praise. We must not fall into that pattern of thinking, because as soon as we do, it engulfs us and it becomes like a weight upon us. Then it becomes very difficult to break that cycle. It becomes part of us, and our journey in life can become hindered because of this thought, because of this mindset, because of what we've become, maybe because of the pain or the hurt or the interaction we have had with people in life, has then developed our minds to start believing that we can't be anything. We can't break this. We can. We'll be looking at positive ways forward from this mindset. We'll be looking at holistic way. Holistic means an alternative way of doing things. By having a holistic approach, it's allowing us to break out of the mold of what we're used to, of the thoughts or the words that we've heard in the past, of how we need to behave or how we need to think. We don't have to be any of those things. We can just be ourselves. Why sometimes we lose ourselves in this cycle of thoughts? Sometimes we get ourselves into a rut and we start to believe those words. We start to believe and become those words. Many times people talk about words. They're just words. But many words that are negative can have a very bad impact on us as a person, in our lives, on our mind, on how we grow and achieve things in life. Going back to praise. Praise is a good thing. When you think about praise, it's a good word. It's a positive word. And why somewhere along the journey in your life, that word has become, I don't want to hear that word. I don't want to know that word. And I believe what we put out in the atmosphere is what comes back to us. If we start to channel our mind to believe those words are negative rather than perceive them to be positive, that is what we will become. We will become those words. We've got to start to look at why it's so easy to follow a negative path rather than follow a positive path. Because we can shut ourselves away when we start to feel sad. We can shut ourselves away when we don't want to face the world. But then it becomes very difficult to come back from that. It becomes a big struggle, a big push, a big fight to get out of that mindset, that cycle that can, draw us down, a cycle that can block us from achieving many great goals. Now let's look at the positive ways we can break away from that negative behavior and move forward with our lives. Once we understand why we don't accept praise and encouragement, we can then move forward with a positive mindset, adjust our mind to a holistic way of thinking. We can take small steps to readjust that way. readjust our thoughts. One of the things we could do is write down every time you have a positive word or compliment or praise that is said about you. Write it down so that whenever you're feeling a little bit low or not feeling quite yourself, read back all those wonderful compliments and you will start to see how those words can just change that mindset, could start to begin to lift you up. And we could either start to open ourselves, our mind, to a new start. Because when we start to open ourselves, good things will come in. Change will come when we open ourselves. Tell yourself every day, today is a new day. Today is going to be a new chapter in my life. I am no longer going to allow negative words or negative thoughts to hold me back from achieving a great life ahead. Also, fight every day with those thoughts. Fight every day not to allow those thoughts to hinder you from progression. Fight every day to say to yourself, I am not going to allow myself to become those words, negativity. I am going to make change. Another step and a tip of suggestion is talk perhaps to people around you who are positive. People that can understand where you're coming from, that could uplift you and say, you know what? You're an amazing person. You're a great person. I've known you for many years and you give a lot. You give your time. You're a positive person. You've got a positive mindset. Talk to people who can lift you up. Surround yourself with positive things, positive people, positive action. Tell yourself every day, you are worthy of praise. You are worthy of encouragement. Tell yourself, you are awesome. You are great. You are wonderful. And you know what will happen? These words will become you. Going back to what we put out in the atmosphere will come back and surround us. I think these tips and suggestions will help you to a healthier mindset. I will end this podcast by saying words of encouragement to you. Every day is a new day. Leave today in today and start tomorrow as the first step to a healthier mindset. I want to thank you for listening today. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast and I look forward to talking to you again and sharing some great and wonderful tips on how to have a healthier mindset. Thanks for listening. Take care and goodbye.